Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, joining us for today's Success Mastery call. This is this is our fifth one. We're already on the second rotation. So congrats for everybody joining today. Looks like we have the numbers climbing up like crazy. I'm sure everybody was just dying to jump on and join us today. So it's going to be a really, really good day of some amazing content. We have some amazing leaders on with us. And I just cannot wait. I mean, all around in LifeVantage, there's so much excitement going on right now. And I'm just, chomping at the bit to hear what these people have to share with us. And yeah, it's going to be really exciting. So let's go ahead and give everybody a couple minutes to go ahead and jump on. While we're going through that process of letting everybody jump on, I'll just quickly kind of jump into the corporate standpoint. Hello, I'm the Director of Sales, Skylar Fobbs. Great to be here with everybody today. Honestly, this has been an exciting series that we've been able to start. The Success Mastery, I feel like it's something that we kind of initially brought into play when we weren't able to come out there and see each of you out there for the regionals that we really were looking forward to. But this quickly was able to replace that, as well as bring, a whole new value to something that we might have been missing here at LifeVantage. So it's a really unique platform that we're able to bring cross-line leaders from all throughout LifeVantage and bring them all to share their knowledge on how they are really overcoming some of the challenges that they've come up across in their business. Maybe give us some tips on how they are really utilizing the different tools that we have available, and how they're just constantly growing and learning this business to become the best professional network marketer that they can. So it's been a really exciting thing to see this thing grow and everything that's come from it. But the really cool thing about this is that you don't only have to be on right at 10 a.m. every single Saturday. I mean, obviously, to get the information as soon as possible, you'd like to be at that point in time. However, we do have the recordings that go out every single week. So you're going to be able to share that with your team. Make sure that everybody's up to date on the newest and coolest things that you need to be doing within your business right now. So with that being said, I think we've given them enough time. Those numbers are still climbing like crazy, so we're really excited about that. But let's go ahead and kick into the announcements that we have for you. So a lot of you know, if you're jumping on, I'm sure you're pretty engaged and you know what's going on with the promotion side of things here at LifeVantage. So just to kind of kick things off, we still are running a promotion for the rest of the month where you're able to get into your business, or you're able to get other distributors into their business cheaper than ever. I mean, this discount is awesome. For the fact that you normally have to pay a $50 start kit fee, and we've gone ahead and waived that for them right now so that they could come in cheaper than ever. That is so awesome that we've been able to figure out that discount. And so hopefully a lot of you have been able to take full advantage of this. If not, you still have about a little over a week for you to go ahead and take full advantage of this. So it's going to run through the rest of April. Please make sure that you and your whole entire downline, everybody knows about this amazing promotion that we have going on right now. Because again, it's only for the month of April. So what better way to gift someone than a discounted way to start their business today? All right. So I wanted to go through that piece. Then we'll go on into the next piece that we have. We do love our promotions and everything like that. So we did want to throw another extra promotion at you for some of our favorite products. So right now you could get the Prebiotic and you could get the ProBio at a really, really cheap discount where it's only $74.99. If that doesn't get you excited right now, with the world and people needing health more than ever right now, I don't know what will. So please make sure that you are letting everybody know about these amazing products. And we're actually going to be able to hear exactly why we should be so excited about those two specific products a little bit later in today's call. So make sure that you are ready to take some notes and everything like that, because yeah, it's going to get really exciting for that piece. Finally, one of the last promotions that we do have going on right now that is going to end this month is the influencer promotion. So for those of you that are building your business like crazy and you're having some great success, I'm sure you are running for the influencer promotion. This is an amazing promotion where we're going to be able to fly people out. We're going to get all the top 50 leaders from this promotion together, and we're going to have some top of the line training as well as some really amazing networking. I'm sure if you talk to your upline, if you talk to any elites or any Master Pro 10s about what's the best part about our incentive trips and everything like that, it's when you're able to network and connect with the other leaders that are doing exactly what you're doing. Or, you know, maybe they may have some tricks that you may not know of, or maybe you're even able to share some tricks that would really be able to be beneficial to their business and help them grow and help them get to that next step. So this is where everybody's able to come together and really just kind of build those relationships and understand what works, what doesn't work, and kind of put it in play into your business. So we're looking forward to that. So right now we have the top 50 list, but something that I want to be very, very clear on. It's amazing if you're on that top 50 list. You are absolutely crushing it if you're on that top 50 list right now. The big thing that you need to know right now is that you do need to qualify for the promotion. You do need to either complete the 150,000 in cumulative growth over the time period that we have the promotion going on, or you need to do the other step, the 1, 2, 3, get 1 Pro 3 every single month, get 2 new distributors every single month, and get 3 new customers every single month. So make sure you're completing at least one of those, because again, you need to complete one of those tasks and be in that top 50 to make sure that you're qualified for this promotion. All right. So again, tons of exciting things. And I actually do have one last promotion, but I think I'm going to save that for the end. So I'm going to go ahead and hold off on that piece because this is actually a promotion that we just got from our marketing team. So I'm going to throw that in at the end so that everybody's aware and so that everybody that's on this call today could get first dibs on what we have to offer for all of you that are joining us right now. So with that being said, I've talked enough. Let's hear some amazing training. And to kind of kick things off, what better way to do it than with getting into the nitty gritty of our products? And who better to do it than someone that's been on our science advisory board. She is a Pro 6. She's amazing. I mean, if you've been able to hear this individual speak before, I'm sure she just left your mind blown. She knows how to break down this science, make it so simple for even me to know. And let me tell you, I am not the best science whiz. Chemistry, yes, I had to take it twice. Okay, I'll go ahead and put it out there. But thankfully, I have someone so amazing that I could call upon who is none other but Premier Pro 6, Nancy Bryan. Nancy, thank you so much for jumping on with us today.
So grateful to be here. Oh my gosh, I'm so humbled. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to do this. Brian Dixon has been just so amazing every week, showing us all kinds of backgrounds of science. And so I feel very honored to be able to fill in today and to talk about a few things that I think are going to be really helpful to people because you know what, in the end, this is really about being able to share what we're talking about, right? Not being the doctor, not being the person that learns and knows everything. This is about being able to share it. So first and foremost, I can't wait to hear from the rest of our panelists. They're all amazing people. And like you, I'm super excited to hear some of their tidbits and hear what they're doing because this is why we're here. This has just been so powerful. So thank you first and foremost for putting this together. One of the things that a lot of people ask me as a doctor of pharmacy, a biochemist, a formulator, I get asked a lot from people, whatever intrigued you to take a look at LifeVantage? And you know what, I have my own personal story, but it's bigger than that because I started taking the products, but I can tell you what intrigued me as I started looking into it was the fact that they were using cutting edge technology and they were combining it with cellular level science. And you know, us geeky science people really get into that, but to be able to be at the cutting edge of the technology part really got me intrigued to look. And then what really got me involved in feeling like I had a moral obligation was the fact that this was a brand new science. This really brought forth something that I've always done. I've been a health professional for a long time, I've spent most of my career helping people understand to be the CEO of their body. And what we do at LifeVantage is really help people to optimize what their body can do. And that's why I just absolutely embraced it. But most of all, I can't leave out the fact what really, really got me was our quality controls. And that quality control is really, truly important when you're taking a look at selecting different products. When you're talking to people, please make sure they understand there's a difference between what normally is sitting out on a shelf and somebody that takes incredible detail with their quality controls. And if you need more information on that, feel free to call the company, look in your back office, there's information there. And there's a whole video on it in your website that talks about quality controls. And that's one of the main reasons that I got so excited. So what we are going to talk to you about today is, before we can even get all of this wonderful science and things underway, what do we have to do with our bodies? We have to have our bodies take in things from the outside and make them work on the inside, right? So we're going to talk about the gut. We're going to talk about not only the gut, but we're going to talk about the gut and the brain and how it all works together as a system. So first and foremost, when we're talking about nutrigenomics, what we're dealing with our flagship product and some of our other products, we're talking about little tiny amounts of plant parts and compounds. They have to be able to make their way through our digestive tract, be absorbed, and do the things they're supposed to do. So we want to make sure where they're going is going to be able to enhance that and to do it, right? So one of the goals that I had for today was talking about, of course, our pre and our probiotics, helping people understand why they're used together, why they're different, and what sets us apart, right? So one of the things that I think would be really valuable is helping you not have to learn all this science, but what I want you to be able to do is to be able to go to your website, and that's what we're going to do right now. I want you to be able to go to your website, and the first thing that you can do is you don't even have to log in. Go in and shop and go to the ProBio, all right? If you go to the ProBio and just click on it, you not only see how much it costs, but guess what you see? You get to see this whole array of information about the product. And so what I want you to know and understand, remember I talked about the cutting edge technology part of this? Well, that's what we're going to talk a little bit about with our probiotic and our prebiotic. But first, let's understand the actual digestive tract. I want you to think of this like a garden. I know you've heard Dr. Dixon talk about that. It's the easiest way to understand this. We have a garden, and what happens every year? We have to seed it. Now, there's going to be some things that come up again year after year that we don't have to do that with, but we have to seed, right? Well, that's what our probiotic is going to do. ProBio is designed to go in, and what's the most important part about this is it's the right balance with the right bacteria. What we want to be able to do is not only have the right stuff, but we want to be able to put it in the right place. So when I was talking about having that technology blend, here's what I want you to take a look at. Look down here. If you scroll down, it goes through and it shows you that, guess what? We make this with BioTrack technology. That's that cutting edge part. And let me tell you why that's such an important thing. When we're talking about BioTrack, what we're seeing here is the ability to take these important bacteria that we have, that we need to have in that garden, and be able to get them where they need to go so that they can actually do their work. And that becomes very challenging. Most probiotics that are on the market are in a capsule. A capsule is a gel cap. It's got moisture. So right from the get-go, as soon as the bacteria are put in there, half of them are dead on arrival because they've activated. I do not want them activated till they're down in the lower digestive tract, in the small intestine and the large intestine. That's what our BioTrack does. Look at this. We get 60% through there. It gets into the stomach acid, and it has the ability to get through there and then distribute the lactobacillus in the upper part of the small intestine and the bifidobacterium down where it belongs, lower. And so that's really an important thing. So that is that cutting edge technology, but it gets better than that. You know what else we see? We have the ability and partnered with a company called Wellmune. And what does Wellmune do? Well, guess what? You can look at the end of that name and get a pretty good idea. But you don't have to believe me, because guess what? When we come in here and we can take a look, we can actually see, all right? You don't have to learn all the science. Click on the Wellmune. And what does it say? It's going to tell you that it enhances our immune response, and it does it without overstimulating. To me, that's amazing. You have no idea what a big deal that is, but just take it from me. We want our immune system operating normally, healthy. So think about the garden again, right? We want the garden to be beautiful. So we're putting these seeds in it. That's what we're going to get with our probiotic. And if you need to know other information, I want you to be able to just be able to click. Look, you can send all of this information to someone else, or better yet, have coffee with them or tea and sit down and just walk through this a minute. So when they're telling you I'm taking yogurt, trust me, they're not going to get this. And this is really important. So what are some of the benefits that we can expect from our probio? Look at this. You're going to get beneficial bacteria to maintain a healthy gut flora. We want the whole system working, right? We want the gut integrity. That means we want the whole gut operating the way it's supposed to. We want to enhance our immune system, right? That safely does it, not overstimulating it. We want to have this amazing ability to get those probiotics exactly where they need to go. And most importantly, remember how we were going to talk a little bit about the gut and the brain as a system? Well, guess what? When those tight junctions happen because the bacteria are doing their job, you're going to get better signaling from your brain and to your gut, and your gut to your brain, that you're full. That's important, because what happens today is we have all these snacks. We're all socially distancing, right? We're like reduced to dogs. We're roaming the house looking for snacks. You know, I've heard people say they need refrigerator distancing. The thing of it is we're taking in things we don't normally do. We have a schedule that's not our normal schedule. We're just all not where we normally are. We're stressed. These things are going to be important to help maintain that garden, so that when those outside foods are coming in, some of those things we don't want in our system, we need our system to be able to break those down. So that brings me to the most important aspect of what we do with our probiotics. We need to feed them. Again, let's think about the garden, right? When we're talking about the garden, what we're talking about is the ability for the garden to not only grow things, we want them to grow and thrive. And they're going to grow and thrive when they're fertilized, they get water and sun, and it's clean without weeds, right? No weeds. So that's why we have our prebiotic. We put it separately in a different type of container in a powder form, because not everybody needs exactly the same amount. And it would be beneficial for you to be able to put it into a drink so you can take it. And the cool thing about our prebiotic is that you can take it anytime. The probiotic should go before you eat, at least 15 minutes, maybe 10, 15 minutes in that ballpark. But the prebiotic, whenever, there's no excuse to say, oh, I forgot it. You can take it at any time. In fact, I've heard several people say they like to mix it with their Axio. So what are we talking about here that makes this so unique? Let's go to our site and look. Here's the cutting edge technology. 3 kinds of fiber. Prebiotics is an amazing product that we partnered with, and it's going to do some amazing things. So those 3 kinds are oligosaccharides, fructosaccharides, and inulin. And they each feed the bacteria differently. Bacteria are just like us. They have different desires of things they want to eat that they like better and do better things with. So we have 3 different types. You don't have to learn all those big names, but now you know where they are and what they are. And the best part about it is it tells you what they do. It's to help, the xylo-oligosaccharides are going to help to grow good gut bacteria. That's really important, right? The same with the fructooligosaccharides. What happens is this goes all the way through your digestive tract because we can't break it down. The bacteria have to. And when they do, guess what? They're happy, and a whole bunch of things happen that aren't going to happen if they're not happy. So it's really important that you're taking this prebiotic to get the garden growing and thriving. And then look at this, brown seaweed extract. Oh my gosh, that's just another avenue for helping to maintain healthy gut. It does lots of things, but look what else it says. Supports the immune system. Why? Because guess what? It's helping keep those weeds out. We're going to keep balanced the bacteria that are all in there. We need to have things kept in balance. And most important, here's the magic. The amino acids in here are L-glutamine, L-leucine, and L-lysine. What does all that mean? Here's the important thing. It triggers L cells, okay? How easy can that be? And guess what L cells do? They're really the magic. They tell the pancreas, hey, put out digestive enzymes. I need to break food down. Oh, by the way, make sure you grab up those carbohydrates. Let's connect to the insulin. Then guess what? The brain is telling the body, hey, guess what? Use this for energy. And they're talking back and forth. And now all of a sudden, we're changing our metabolism. We're helping our metabolism actually be able to function properly. And that's because you're going to have reduced appetite. You're going to feel satiated. That means full. And you're promoting your body to thrive. That's what this really is all about, is utilizing those things. So the most important thing I wanted to get across today was we have all of this information. Look, what is Prebiotics? These are things that are right at your disposal. You don't have to call your local health person in LifeVantage. You can get this information, you can share this information, and it's so valuable. Let's utilize these things. And of course, I wanted to talk to you about it today because you heard what Skylar said. Look, we have a promotion. So for people that are utilizing the Tri-Synergizer packs right now, they're understanding the nutrigenomics and the importance of us activating our genes to respond properly so we're healthy. Well, guess what? We got to get those things in there. This goes perfectly, and this gives them a perfect chance to try to add along with the Tri-Synergizer, the prebiotic and the probiotic. And I'm telling you, people will feel a difference. It's a huge change. Let's give our body a fighting chance and allow it to be able to take these two products and really enhance our whole system. So Skylar, that's what I've got. I hope that helps, and I'll give it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nancy. That was amazing. Again, just like I promised, mind blown. I love it. Every single time you're able to deliver. And again, I loved how you were able to point it out for those individuals such as myself that may not be as advanced in the science and everything like that. We have so many different studies, so many different tools for you to utilize, whether that's on the website, in the back office, or whatever it might be. Even using these videos like this, it's really simple for you to go ahead and get individuals like Nancy and some of the other amazing doctors and everything that we have here at LifeVantage to share this information and to get the point across of exactly how valuable the science is in each of our products. So thank you so much. Couldn't do this without you. So happy that you were on today. We will go ahead and kick into our next piece. So our next person that we're going to be having on is actually, we're going to switch up the pace a little bit with the interview. All right. So really looking forward to this. Love this person's energy. Always amazing. I mean, what you were able to do in Cancun just was truly moving. You always touch everybody's hearts, and I love that about you. So today we have an Elite Pro 7, been with us for about 9 years now. Previously in the pharmaceutical world, where, he was having tons of success, also a champion cyclist. I mean, just had, what seemed to be, just the perfect world, but, something was always missing. So the awesome thing is that with LifeVantage, we were able to go ahead and help him identify exactly what might have been missing at that point. So with that being said, I'd love to bring on one of my good friends, Elite Pro 7, Gary Stern. Gary, you here with us?
I'm here. What's happening, Skylar? How's it going, brother?
It's going wonderful. Let me see if I could go ahead and unpin this, because I want to make sure that everybody sees your beautiful face. It's a little bit better than, all this going on with this extra blue. But no, awesome to have you on, Gary. But yeah, you just wanted to kind of kick things off. I mean, I mentioned real quick that you've been with us for about 9 years now, where you've been working constantly on becoming that professional network marketer that you are today. And honestly, like through that journey, like what are some key things that you had to do in order to make that mental shift? Because I know you're really a mental guy, and you were able to make a mental shift along this journey that just kind of made things click for you once you reach these elite ranks.
Yeah, thanks, Skylar. First, I want to say, awesome job, Dr. Nancy Bryan. I was actually over here taking notes. That's why I put my screen on the picture instead, so people didn't see me scratching away. I hope you guys are taking lots of notes in this success mastery trainings. These things are super valuable. So to answer your question, though, it was definitely a mind shift. I don't want this to come across the wrong way, but I had to realize which skills would make that transition from the physical therapy and pharmaceutical world that I was in over into this professional network marketing world, and which ones didn't, right? Certain skills made the transition over and were very useful. I could apply them here if that made sense. Others could not. And don't take this the wrong way, but I was already super successful at pharmaceutical sales. So I just thought, well, this will be a breeze. I'll just transfer all the skills over, right? That was my initial thought process, is I'm just going to transfer all the skills over here. And it doesn't work that way, guys, because there's certain things that you need to be a physician like Dr. Bryan, or to be Sean and Michelle were in the banking world, right? Working for Wells Fargo, and I was in the pharmaceutical world. We each had to do certain things, but there are behaviors or skills that can transition over. So I challenge each and every one of you, figure out what those skills are that you can bring over from your previous life, so to speak, your profession, and be able to utilize here. Second thing I had to do is I had to get out of a me, M-E mindset, and get into a we mindset. Think about that one for a second, guys. In the pharmaceutical world, it was dog eat dog. I wanted to own the other pharmaceutical reps, right? That way my family got fed. That way I had a roof over my head. That way I succeeded. And it was all about me. It had nothing to do with we. This business, guys, is all about teamwork. 100% about teamwork. So you've got to get that through your head. If you're thick-skulled like I was, it takes a little longer to get that through your head, but eventually it'll click. The third point there I want to make on that first question is, write this down, guys. Less competition and more collaboration. Less competition, more collaboration. It's about working together. The folks that are on the line, I've been on Julie Mai's calls before. She's helped out with my team before. Marilee and I have trained together up in Vancouver. Sean and Michelle Poe, we've helped them and they've helped our teams before. Michelle and I have gone out on the road and trained in Texas together. That collaboration is what's going to rise this entire ship up. So that was something I was not used to in my previous world that I had to learn over here, to shift from really about the me to what are the skills that I'm best at that I can contribute, and where are the ones that I may be a little deficient in and I can rely on others to help raise my game, if that makes sense, Skylar.
That makes perfect sense. Spot on. Well, and I know just from knowing you for the past few years, I mean, we've spoken a lot, and I know one of the key things that made you wanted to make the transition that you did, even though you had such a successful career, you know, you were doing so many great things, was the time freedom type thing that you were going after. And I know a big piece of what you wanted to do with that time freedom is to spend more time with your family and everything like that. So I know, especially where you're kind of juggling what you're doing at that point. And then I know you also you're an entrepreneur, so you have other businesses outside of that. And I know you even mentioned at one point, you know, your wife kind of was like, oh my gosh, like you're taking on another thing right now. Like, I can't believe this. Like, so this is a lot to kind of bring onto your plate. So with that being said, maybe what are some of the challenges that you came across as you were going through that transition of trying to get the different aspects of still having that attention for the family, for the spouse and everything like that, you know, and then also just overcoming that? How do you move forward through that?
It was tricky, man. Let me tell you, it was tricky, especially at the beginning. I mean, full-time pharmaceutical rep. We had just opened up a bicycle shop 8 months prior to enrolling in LifeVantage. Full-time, you know, a father, husband, trying to win a fifth state championship bike racing. And then I'm like, oh, and yeah, by the way, now I'm going to add another thing to the plate. And especially, you know, and I had to put myself, what I had to do is I had to put myself in my wife's shoes. Initially, it wasn't going well. I was trying to almost force the issue. But put yourself into her shoes. On the outside, things look great. I mean, I made killer money in the pharmaceutical industry. I had survived 6 rounds of cuts in less than 3 years. It was like every 6 months was another round of cuts, and I survived every single one of them. So in one regard, I could completely understand it. But what I really had to paint for not just myself, but my family was a long-term vision. We've heard this over and over again, guys, but you got to get it to sink into your heart. Short-term sacrifice for long-term gain, right? I was all about that. And I made promises to my family. I said, look, I'm going to bust my butt, guys. I'm not just going to do this half butt. I'm not just going to go into this and piddle paddle. If I want to make that transition to being a professional network marketer and buy my time back, essentially, go and work to get my time back, I'm going to make the hours count. And that's what, you know, I see that happen every day in businesses where people say, yeah, my family is the most important thing. And yet they're not putting in those income producing activities that are going to get them that time with the thing that they say is the most important to them, which is their family. And it took me a little while to figure that out. But as soon as I figured that out, I'm like, great, I can compress this. I can get coaching. I can get mentoring. I can go and make myself better. I can go and build a library, listen to positive motivational things. I can go do all these things to take that time and compress it so that the sacrifice or the grunt work or the hard work where I had to spend time away from them was shorter in order to give me more time with them. There's one story that I wanted to tell, and it's brief. There was one night that I was going out to go do an opportunity meeting. I was a pro 5 or 6 at the time, been just grinding. I mean, I'm talking like 3-4 meetings a week, every week. After work, this is while I was still full-time, by the way, as a pharmaceutical rep. So I'm walking out the door, and Lance, my son, has his arms like wrapped around my leg. And, you know, imagine this. I'm like dragging him along behind me as I'm trying to walk out the door to go do the meeting. He's crying his eyeballs out. I'm crying my eyeballs out, trying not to let him see, going, why am I doing this? Like, is it worth it? At the end of the day, is it worth it? What I realized was I let him know, look, Lance, I got to go this time. You got to let me go, I promise. But there's going to be a day where I'll be there all the time. It's written right here. That's why I have this, so you can see it in my office too. That's my why right there. I see it every day. It's right there in my desk, right next to our core values. And so it was my why that kept me going in those time periods. When they say your why has to make you cry, well, I was crying and he was crying. We were bawling our brains out as I was going to go do this meeting. But the meeting was going to happen because I promised the folks that I would do it. I promised myself and I promised my family. Because without that meeting, I wouldn't be able to get to where I needed to get to at the end result, to be that dad in the back of the classroom, that dad that doesn't miss practice, that doesn't miss games, that doesn't miss performances, that doesn't miss vacations, that doesn't miss anything. I had to be that dad. And so those are some of those strategies I would ask people to take away from that. Short-term sacrifice for long-term gain. Guys, if you're going to do it, make it count. Make it count.
Perfect. I love it. Well, yeah, I mean, not only did it just make you two cry, it's about to make me cry. So I appreciate you sharing that. That is awesome. You know, those are the stories that we do this for. This is why we're so passionate about this amazing opportunity that LifeVantage brings into people's lives. So thank you so much for just kind of bringing that to life. Well, you know, I think we have time for about one more question. I'd like to know, I mean, you've made such a leap and bound from when you started clear back in 2011 over this 9-year journey that you're at today as an Elite Pro 7. If you could go back and tell 2011 Gary Stern, you know, here's this one piece of advice that you really need to know to help your success on your way through the ranks and growing your business onto whatever your end goal is, what would that piece of advice be?
Great question. it would be difficult to narrow it down to one, but I would have gone back then and told myself, Gary, IQ does not determine your destiny. EQ does, especially self-discipline. Because back then, quite frankly, I had no clue what EQ meant. And I thought it was just the smartest person won the battle, right? That you just got better and smarter. And I should have stopped pretending to know everything, been humbled a little bit sooner, humbled myself a little bit sooner, learned the value of personal growth as soon as I would have said, dude, learn the value of personal growth as soon as humanly possible. Take massive action sooner, because this thing really does work. I mean, I kind of went into it and lollygagged for the first few months because I just didn't think, I thought network marketing was silly. I didn't think anybody made any money. Ladies on the line, I'm going to say something. Y'all are going to hate me for this, but I thought it was just women painting makeup on each other's faces and nobody made any money. Honest to goodness, like, I'll paint makeup on yours, you paint your stuff on mine, and we'll all be happy. And I realized that this is the time. This is the tsunami of growth. You've heard the Master Pro 10 say they rode that first tsunami coming out of the last recession that we're in. People are hurting right now. We have an answer. We have a solution for them for their health. We have a solution for them for their business. So I challenge each and every one of you guys to do something. Brandon challenged me to do this. He was the first guy to break through to me, not any other leader in network marketing. So write this one down, guys. First thing in the morning, take this, put it down. Pick up a self-development book. Pick up something for personal growth, a book, an audio, a video, something to get your day started off right. 15 to 20 minutes. Don't look at this first. Guys, it was so challenging for me to do that. No other leader has been able to get me to do that. I called Brandon yesterday and thanked him as I finished John Maxwell's book and told him that one habit, 2 weeks of doing this has made it a habit that I'll never get out of now, has changed the direction of my life. Do what is hard now and life will be easy. Because if you do what is easy now, life's going to be hard. That's what my boy Les Brown says. So I'll leave you with that, guys. Thank you, Skylar.
Love it. Actually, I'm not going to let you get away that easy. We have tons of comments coming in. What's EQ?
Emotional intelligence. So your
Perfect.
IQ is your intellectual quotient or your intellectual knowledge, right? How, for lack of a better term, how smart you are. And your IQ does not really change throughout your life. People think you can up it or down it. It really, you're kind of born with it. You know, some people say, oh, I have a really difficult time learning. They do. It's not like they're just making excuses. Others, things come naturally to them because their IQ, their intelligence quotient is higher. Your EQ is your emotional quotient, your emotional intelligence. Emotional Intelligence 2.0. I see that Jessica Perez typing that in right now. That's the book that changed my life. That's why I said I would have told Gary, read that thing early, dude, and figure this out. And when I finally figured it out, I'm like, my EQ guys, the bad examples they gave in the book, mine was worse than that. Like, they could have used me as the worst example in the book. That's how bad it was. No joke. I took the test. I'm like, oh, Lord, I really need to work on this. The good news is you can move your emotional intelligence quotient, not massive scores, but you can move it 20 or 30 points. Whereas your IQ, you're lucky if you can move that bad boy 5 points over the course of your lifetime. So that's what EQ is.
Perfect. I love it. No, that was spot on, Gary. Thank you so much for sharing today. That was really, really good stuff. And I'm sure, I mean, looking at all the comments and everything that's coming through there, people are ecstatic about what you were able to kind of paint the picture on and the information that you've been able to share. So again, brother, thank you so much for jumping on with us today. And we're looking forward to seeing you more in the future.
Thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. So we will go ahead and kick things over and start our next portion, which is going to be, we're bringing on another elite. Can you imagine that? So we're excited today. So we're going to go ahead and move it up on through the ranks. So today we actually have one of my really special friends here. I've actually been working very closely with her as in different capacities. I remember working with her as an account manager and then moving into field development and working with her in that aspect of, more strategic building within their business. And then now in the director level. And it seems, it's so funny. It's like every single time, like I'm moving up, she's moving up like 2 ranks. Like it's just like growing like crazy. And just recently we were actually able to recognize her as one of our newest Elite Pro 8s. So that was really exciting as well. So with that being said, I'd love to go ahead and bring on Elite Pro 8 Marilee Mersich, who's going to give us some insight on how we can really utilize social media and how to do it the right way. So I know Jenny Crane was actually able to do, kind of a part 1 last week, and this is part 2. So we're really excited to see how you guys are going to be able to build on top of that and get some of these exciting tips from you on how we can do social media the right way and really just explode this business as much as possible.
Well, it is an honor to be here. Thank you so much, Skylar. Can you hear me okay? Can you see my screen?
Yes, it's working great.
Fabulous. It's an honor to be here, guys. Can I just tell you that? Oh my goodness. And I feel like I just want to sign up all over again. That was fire, Gary, Stern, and Nancy. Oh my goodness. Guys, understanding what we have our hands on here. Every day I'm aware of that. And it's just an honor to be part of this. So we are going to be this part 2 of that social media conversation that Jenny Crane did a beautiful job of sharing last week. So we're going to continue that, and we're going to talk about building your social media brand and finding your avatar. So before we get started on that, let me just tell you a little bit about myself if you're not familiar with who I am. I am Marilee Mersich, as Skylar shared, Elite Pro 8. And my husband and I, live in the beautiful Pacific Northwest in Washington State. And we actually are getting ready to celebrate our 29th wedding anniversary, which I can hardly believe. But, everybody has a story. Everybody has a journey. And ours, when we started Married Life Out, we had this amazing career with my husband as a commercial fisherman in the Bering Sea of Alaska. So if you've ever seen the television series Deadliest Catch, you have a visual of what he did. That was an amazing career for us as we started life out, financially especially, but it was high risk for high pay. And then I got a call one night. Sean had an overnight career-ending injury, and our world changed immediately. So what we felt was a great career choice and money was coming in. It was wonderful. But when everything changes, you really stop and think. And so at that moment in time, we realized that we've got to make a shift. Well, he spent over a year in physical therapy trying to get his health back. We tried to just, get our footing and figure out what we wanted to do in life. We tried working for other people, and we knew we were too entrepreneurial for that. So we ventured out and thought, okay, now we've got the answer. We're going to start our own traditional business. We want to be in control of that. Well, we realized quickly that now we had created kind of a monster. It was a blessing, don't get me wrong, but we realized we had no time freedom. Absolutely none. In fact, we were working at the time, in those early days, we were working about 100 hours a week, each of us, just to make our business fly. So having no kids, we just kind of dove into our world, and that just consumed us. And it was at that time, so I want you to take note, at that time of our very busiest moment in life, someone saw something in me. Someone saw a hard worker, owns her own business, really wants something more in life. And she kept coming around trying to introduce me to the concept of leveraging yourself, leveraging your ability to build an income, and introduced me to the world of network marketing. And I'll tell you, it was the best thing ever. I told her no at first because I didn't think that I could fit it in, but the best thing happened to me ever. She introduced me to the concept of it. I saw the income disclosures. I saw the possibility. And I told her no, but then she went out and started to recruit some of my friends. Best thing that ever happened to me. I immediately found a way to start doing this. I immediately found the time. I immediately found those nooks and crannies that I could make this work because I said, oh, heck no, I can do this. So I started out in the industry, and I've learned a lot along the way. that brought me to this point 4.5 years ago when I joined LifeVantage, and I found my home. And I really now realize the importance of finding that right company. And guys, that's what you have your hands on. And it has been an absolute dream since we've been here. And now we have that ability to travel and do those things that we've really wanted to do and build that asset long term. So I'm thrilled to be here and just really share this with you, because part of our success really has been building on social media. In fact, I can attribute about 95% of our growth to the benefits of social media. So let's talk about that. Building your social media brand. So we want to talk about branding you, not branding the company, branding you. This is what's going to give you a powerful message. I mainly use the Facebook platform. So we're going to talk about that today, and I'm going to give you some examples. So I want you to envision your dream business and your brand. Who are you? What are you about? I want you to get clear on who you are and the message you give. I want you to get clear on who you want to be on your team. What does your team look like? Can you envision that? Your future team? What does that look like? How big can you grow that? And I want you to know your vibe attracts your tribe. So we're going to get clear on your vibe, and we're going to get clear on your tribe. We're going to marry those two. But I want you to know this about social media, that you build relationships through social media by turning strangers into friends and friends into family. And that's the magic in it. So I want you to know this, that social media is simply the story that you tell through the content you create. It's a big playground. Social media is. We know that Facebook has way over now, especially right now, over 2.5 billion users. But there's also Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. It's a large playground. But social media is just a tool. It's not bibbity boppity boo. In fact, the magic in social media is when you create a plan. So we want to help you develop your brand, identify your audience, that's your avatar, we're going to get clear on that, and create your content and know your strategy. So before we do that, I want to ask you, does your Facebook have an identity crisis? If so, it might be time to give it a little bit of a facelift. And I want you to remember always that first impressions are everything. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. So we're going to talk about branding yourself, and we're going to start from the beginning. So I want to ask you, what does your profile say about you? This is an example of my profile. I want to give you some visuals so that you can picture what yours might be. So we want to talk about even that cover photo. So I want you to audit your own timeline. I want you to go to your profile after we do this today and audit your own profile. And I want you to think about your cover photo. And I actually want you to think about it in this way, that most users, in fact, 90% of users, when they're on Facebook, you're probably doing it as well, you're on your phone. So remember that even your cover photo, make sure that if you set it up on your computer, that you take a look at what it looks like on your cell phone. That makes a difference in how that cover photo is going to show. You don't want to chop heads off of people if they're in that background piece of it. But my cover photo says believe. That's who I'm about. I believe in people. I believe in their dreams and their possibilities. I'm just a believer. I absolutely am. But I want you to choose a good profile photo of you. It doesn't have to be a professional photo. This is just a selfie actually of me. But I want you to remember your smile is your business card. And notice I don't have a family photo. It's not a picture of my dog, but people want to see you. And we only have a small little window to do that in that profile picture. So pick a great photo. And then does your intro summarize your brand? This really kind of defines who I am in a nutshell. Know that people are taking a look at you in an instant. They need to get an idea of who you are if they're just checking you out. And notice that I don't say I'm a LifeVantage distributor on here. I want people to be curious enough about what it is that I do. I want them to connect. So what makes you special? What makes you stand out? You want to stand out. So think about this. How many people are trying to sell something online? Like we're flooded with people selling this, selling that, but we want you to stand out. We want you to become that person that people look at as an individual. So how can you add value and how can you be an expert? I want you to think about those things. What are those things about you that you can add value to your audience and be an expert in? How can you build trust? And I want you to be authentic. Don't compare your brand to others. Your brand is as unique as your fingerprint. So we say this, you do you. It's your brand. So get specific on that and be you. Most important thing, people love authenticity. And I want you to think about this. People in general get addicted to reality television, for example. That's because they just want that inside look on someone's life. That's why social media works when you do it well. So I want you to think about, who are you? So giving myself as an example, if I'm jotting things down, I'm writing and making a list. So I'm going to show you an example of my own list, but I want you to think of you. I want you to think of what this might look like for you. So write the top 5 or 10 things that make you you. We want you to define that. But what are you passionate about? What attracts people to you? What do you want to be known for? Here's an example of some of those things. As you get to see me on my timeline, you're going to see me posting about these kinds of things. These are the things that are important to me. So as I was making my list and jotting them down, faith, family, healthy lifestyle, mentor, inspiration, travel, fun-loving, photography, laptop lifestyle. That's what I'm all about. But now that you kind of get an idea of getting clear on who you are, I want you to identify your audience. This is kind of where the magic conversation happens. Identify your target audience and attract like-minded people into your world and business. That's your avatar. So finding your avatar. The avatar, who is the avatar? People ask you, what is the avatar? The avatar is the persona or embodiment of the ideal person that you want to do business with. Okay? So I want you to get specific with who they are. In fact, I want you to picture them. I want you to, you can flip through magazines. You can do all kinds of things just to get a picture of them. Actually, I gave this training in Cancun after I got off the stage. I had people asking me, could you send me your little Bitmoji? I want to have somebody like you as a visual. So think of people that you want to do business with. So get specific on who they are. Give your avatar a name. Get familiar with them that well, but write down their top 5 to 10 ideal attributes. And I want you to get specific. So just a few ideas. Really think about this. Get clear. What's their age, their gender? Where do they live? Are they married? Are they single? Do they have children? Do they have pets? Do they have a job? What's their income? Do they like to travel? What are their hobbies? What are the clubs or groups that they're a part of? What are their favorite foods? Where do they shop? Are they health-minded? Are they athletic? Those are all things you want to get clear on. What do they look like? Who are they? So as an example, this is who I'm looking for. I definitely am looking for business-minded people. They're into fitness, maybe loves travel, positive, loves people, healthy lifestyle, loves animals. I love animals. Doesn't that make sense? And a sense of humor. I want to have the lighthearted, fun-loving person in my world and my business, right? My vibe attracts my tribe. That's what we're looking for. So here's an example of an avatar that I actually have in my business. This is Renee. Hi, Renee. But I want you to identify what concerns your avatar. So as a visual, identifying what concerns my avatar. What might their pain point be? So now that we've identified them, and you're thinking about things that you're posting, and you're familiar now with your audience and who you're targeting, what are the topics that they might be searching for at night? Maybe better sleep, more energy, additional income, more time. Can you see how identifying with my avatar and their pain points by me posting things that might identify with them, we might have that connection. I'm going to be a standout to that person. But what kinds of groups would I find my avatar in? The beautiful thing about Facebook is there's tons of groups. It's limitless on the amount of groups that you can be a part of. But what kind of groups would I find the kind of avatar that I'm looking for? Maybe healthy lifestyle groups, maybe healthy recipes, maybe it's a vegan group. I don't know, fitness groups, anything that has to do with fitness. Think of sky's the limit. Maybe they're into tennis, maybe they're into, the gym or whatever it is. Maybe it's a running group. Where am I going to find somebody that's into fitness? Think sky's the limit on this, guys. Just think. But dog groups. I'll tell you, I have people in my business because I'm in dog groups. and people definitely using the products because of it. So you find those people. So my avatar, Renee, is absolutely in all of these. But you want to build your relationships outside of the group. So what you don't want to do in a Facebook group is to go in there and start spamming your link or selling things. You're in there making connections. You're in there giving value to the group so you stand out. And then once you audited your profile and you really are starting to jive with and post things that might relate to your avatar, when they go to your timeline and they start to scroll things and they start to connect with you, maybe you reach out to them, you ask for friend requests, you start having conversations, you build those relationships outside of the group, and that's where the magic happens. And you want to create your content. So I want you to think about this. So now that your avatar is kind of checking things out, so will my avatar be interested in what I'm posting? Why would they do business with me? Think about that every time you post something. Think about those things. What keeps them coming back to my timeline? Are you positive? Is it something that they can relate to? Is my content an answer to my avatar's problems? Quality content is absolutely key. But in doing that, I want to identify your 5 pillars. Jenny talked last week a little bit about the 5 pillars. The 5 pillars really are what best describes you. If you had 5 things and you really shook it down, what are the 5 main things that are the pillars that you can post about, the pillars that define you? So just to think about that, what best describes you? If I asked you what best describes you, what would you say? What are you passionate about? What are your core values? What do you enjoy doing? What is your happy place? Think about those things. So to give you an example, your pillars are unique to you. These are my unique pillars. I've kind of thought about it and defined it. So the main 5 things that I'm posting about, my main 5 pillars: family and friends, inspirational things, hobbies, laptop lifestyle, business, and products. So you want to know your strategy, and the best way to really get kind of a schedule of how you're posting things. Structured content using your 5 pillars equals efficiency. So using my own examples, family and friends, I have several different ideas on what I might be posting. Family pictures, Great Danes, my Wiley, boy, he's got a fan club all by himself. But friendships, humor, what defines family friends for me? Inspirational things, maybe that's where I'm pulling things out about my faith, mindset, mentoring, health and fitness. Hobbies, hiking, photography. I love photography. We live on an island. Island life is kind of my jam. Flowers, love them. Laptop lifestyle, travel, team, fun, adventures. And then business and products. Of course, I'm going to be trying to draw people to me, and I'm going to be talking about business tips. And this is where I'm talking about value. So when you're reading your personal growth books, throw quotes in there or tips that let people know you have a business or that you have the ability to lead them in a business. Show them those things, motivational things. That this is where you get that posture and let people know you're one to follow, right? But then product curiosity. So we're always going to be cycling through this on a schedule. So if I had 5 days of kind of mixing things up, this is what I'm going to be talking about. So just at the bottom, you'll see kind of a guideline, 1 to 2 posts per day, 20% content from each pillar. Notice I'm not doing 80% business. I'm not a rolling advertisement. I want people to get on my timeline and know that they can know, like, and trust me. That's where the magic happens. So don't overload one pillar. But you actually, it's really beneficial if you can go on and do 1 live a week. There is no better way to get eyes on you than to do lives, giving value. And if you do a live, I suggest doing them no more than 5 minutes and literally just giving value, giving people a reason to follow you and love you and know you behind the scenes, right? But then rotate between images. So mix it up. Don't always do just photos. Don't always do just text, but mix it up. So images, text, and using those, I love the Facebook backgrounds that are colorful where you can do just a couple keywords. They really pop and catch people's eyes. But we talked about it, Facebook Lives, and video posts are always great. Video is great to use on Facebook, but make this original content. Don't do it as shares. Make it original content. You be the expert. You give the value. So just to give you some examples of how we post, I love this picture. I want to show people humor, and I want to show that we travel. My husband he never gets on an airplane without falling asleep within like the first 5 minutes. So, of course, these kind of things grab attention. But I love giving inspiration. You saw Believe is my cover photo. Don't downgrade your dream to match your reality. Upgrade your belief to match your destiny. These kind of things give me a lot of likes and a lot of shares. I'm showing pictures of my dog. This is where people start to follow me. People can relate to me. People share all kinds of photos on my timeline because of dogs. I have people in my business because of my dog. And I love sharing what building a team is like. So for my avatar, maybe she's looking through my things. If she's locked in a cubicle and alone at work and she's a hard worker, but maybe she wants more of a tribe life, more of a team atmosphere, I'm showing pictures of that. Absolutely. I love photography. It's what I'm about. We live on an island. This is a sunset from our beach. And I'll tell you, it's almost a Facebook hack. Throw some sunsets up there. It's always a win. But again, showing more team time together and some of the wonderful rewards that we get as we build with a team. That family piece of it is very important. But when I'm throwing content out there about product, sirtuins, it's my new favorite word. Who else can say that? Absolutely. I'm sure it's many of your favorite new word, right? But it's curiosity. Notice I didn't put a bottle up there, didn't name the product, giving curiosity. And from that curiosity, tons of people reach out. What are sirtuins? I can take that conversation into Messenger and give them the tools I want to lead them to. It's powerful. But another one, just being clever. She blinded me with science, showing them what it does. But this is really me taking my 5 pillars and literally, legitimately going through in a week's time, this is what it looks like. So creating curiosity is key. We've talked about that a little bit, but you want to get people asking, what do you do? You're giving tons of value. You're showing content. You're having fun with your product, maybe pictures of a glass full of Axio, but it's really giving the curiosity piece so that I can tease the education, but take that conversation offline. You want people to ask the question, can you help me? Maybe you're giving health tips and you're becoming an authority so people can see that, hey, can you help me? But I want to really encourage you, don't give the farm away. Always remember google.com is out there. If you're just advertising products and people go to google.com because you've blasted the name of products and you've not created that curiosity piece, they don't need you. There's no reason for them to ask you for more. That's really something to think about. But you want to take the conversation offline. In fact, we know that the money is in the messenger. This is where the magic happens for me all the time. Multiple messengers open because people are curious about what it is that I do. They're inspired by it. So just a few tips before we close. Building relationships is what it's all about. It is making those connections and contacts. So some key things to think about. Be a fan back to those interacting with you. In fact, I love to use emotion when I do, not just a like. Be a love, give that love response or a ha-ha or some kind of an emotion. But that response is actually an algorithm hack. It really does help you to get more visibility. It's just this crazy little algorithm thing, but you have to give to get. So really interacting, commenting, drop messages to those people commenting or liking your post. Let them know that you appreciate their support, that you love having them there, or just dropping a message. Thanks so much for liking my stuff. How are things with you? Starting conversations. That's what we do. We are experts in starting conversations. This is how we do it. But add 3 new friends a day, just as a general rule, and not LifeVantage people. You want to get other eyeballs on your timeline and not just fill it with LifeVantage, although we love our LifeVantage family, but you want to really continue to increase that world, finding those avatars. But understand it takes time to build your brand. Quality connections are better than quantity. In fact, I'd rather see somebody with 1,000 friends that has a really good connection, or 500 friends with really good connections. They're interacting, they kind of know their peeps, they know their family, their tribe, but versus the person that has 5,000, but they really aren't connected to them. So really, quality is much better than quantity. It's okay to have 5,000 friends. Some people do, and they're very good at working with them. So that works too. Just be conscious of that. But people plug into Facebook to be social, not to be sold to. right? Think of that. I'm going to say that one more time. People plug into Facebook to be social, not to be sold to. The reason why you don't want to look like a salesperson, making those connections and giving value, is the secret sauce. Social media gives you exposure and helps you build trust. It's still your job, however, to reach out to people one by one. A lot of times people get a misconception about social media, and they think if they just get so good at building their brand and marketing themselves that they've put really great content out, and if I just throw great content out, people are going to reach out to me like crazy and I'm going to make all these sales. No, you have to make a good effort to reach out and connect to those people that are finding you and connecting with you. You want to have those conversations one-on-one. So always remember, this is just growing your audience and really stepping up and standing out. But as we close, the power of your brand awareness is everything, guys. I want you to think about this. Brand awareness is everything. A strong brand, knowing who you are, gives you more visibility. It gives you more credibility. It gives you more, so much more. But originality wins. So be creative. Find your voice. Find your humor. Don't be a rip and repeat kind of person. Maybe find something that inspires you. If you see a post that's great, but change it up. That's another algorithm thing. By just copying and pasting or sharing doesn't increase your visibility. You want to be the expert. You want to be that creative person. So mix it up, be original, have fun with it. And I want to encourage you guys, this is a time for you to shine bright. Your brand is always on. We're in a time right now where there's a lot of controversial things and people posting things that can be polarizing to your audience. It's not the time to be polarizing. In fact, I don't think there's ever a time to be polarizing. Your job, if you do it well, is really to bring those people to you. Think about when people go to your timeline. Do they know, like, and trust you? Or are you polarizing them by things that you're sharing? You don't want to turn off half of your audience. Always remember that your brand is on. Think about it in everything you do, everything you say. But you never know who's watching. And I promise you, people are always watching. But how do you represent yourself? How do you represent yourself in everything you do, everywhere you go, especially on social media, but also everywhere else you are? Think about that. How do you represent yourself? That's part of branding. We know that when we see famous athletes, we know that when we see movie stars, we see that, but that's part of what you're doing is you're developing your brand. So know that your brand is always on, but how do you represent our company? We know and love our company so much because we shine bright here and we want the world to know and see how special this tribe, our group, our family is. So shine bright, guys. There has never been a better time to rise. But how do you represent our industry? Think about that in everything that you're posting. Let people know this is so special. I'm telling you what, having this industry in front of my life has changed my world significantly. And it's an amazing gift to have in our hands to show with the world. So let's shine brighter than we've ever done before. And I want you to remember this out of everything I've shared. The real secret is knowing who your target audience is and who you are.
Sweet. Awesome, Marilee. Thank you so very much. It's funny, I've been in this industry for about 10 years now, and I know people, obviously, with our corporate staff that have been in here for so many more years, and every single time you just leave us in awe. You know, you break it down so simple. Social media is a very tricky thing when it comes to this business, but the way that you break it down, it just makes it so much more simple. So I appreciate the knowledge that you've been able to share with us. And man, thank you so much. And especially big shout out to Sean for letting us steal you away from him for you know, this hour and a half and everything like that. We love you guys. So thank you so much again for sharing that amazing insight that you were able to share with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and kick it over to one of our other newest Elite Pro 8s. You know, Marilee just mentioned that she actually is on an island right now. So why don't we just go to another island? And I'm trying to look in the background. I remember when we started this, it was like pitch black. and now it's come to light. And I just love seeing that you were, you know, in the nitty gritty, up and rise and grind. You're ready to go ahead and share some amazing stuff with us today. But this individual's been with us for about 7 years now. And along that time frame, she's been able to grow through the ranks all the way to Elite Pro 8. I know you're a loving mother for 4 beautiful children, and you know you're a loving wife as well, and that you've also been an entrepreneur with other businesses. So I love that you were able to come across this amazing opportunity and find your home here with LifeVantage. So with that being said, we will go ahead and bring in one of our newest Elite Pro 8s, Julie Mai. How's it going, Julie?
Hi, Skylar. How are you? Good morning.
Aloha. I know.
Aloha.
I'm always wanting to say that because it feels like you guys, that own little language that you guys got over there. I'm so jealous of it, and especially during this time to be in such a beautiful area. I'm definitely jealous at this point. So thank you again for jumping on with us. To kind of kick things off, I mean, I mentioned earlier just a little bit about your background. I know you've done some other traditional businesses. I believe it was like a jewelry company. I know you had that going, and you know, maybe a few other things that you had going in the works. But you were able to make this shift over to direct sales and to become a professional network marketer. So I'm sure between those two, it is night and day difference. I mean, they may have a few similarities, but for the most part, I mean, it is completely different, or else everybody else would be doing it. You know, it'd be very simple for everybody to see, take advantage of this. But with that being said, what are some of the hurdles that you came across making that jump from your previous life into this new life that you're now living? And how were you able to overcome those hurdles that you came up against?
Oh, that's a great question, Skylar. Thank you so much. Can you hear me okay? All right. So yeah, you guys, I mean, the thing about traditional business versus, you know, what we do is it is like Skylar was saying, complete polar opposites. So I really had to completely rethink the way that I thought about business. You know, unfortunately, we don't learn about this in high school or in college. That would be a great, you know, class to take. But I knew that what I was doing wasn't going to get me my goal. You know, for me, when I started with this, you guys, and I'll get into my story a little bit later as I share, but I wanted something different. I wanted more time freedom, right? And so I knew that I would have to learn something different to get that. And the best thing about, you know, what we do is like what Gary was speaking to earlier. It's about learning that, developing that self-development, if you will. And so public education will earn you a living, and maybe you should write this down. Public education will earn you a living. Self-education will earn you a fortune. And so when I started to really look at what I had my hands on, when I really started to listen to some of the mentors early on, and I I really wanted to understand the difference between small business, linear income versus global big business leveraged income. And I really taught myself that. And I got super excited about the possibility of how that something like this could completely change my life and also other people's lives. And that's what really got me excited. And, you know, for those of you that don't know me very well, or for those of you, you know, on my team will can attest to this, that I got so excited that, you know, I made these binders for my team. I would show up, we created these group meetings every week. You know, we had this tree that we would meet under, and I would show up with, you know, just different printouts of network marketing. And I would make things to like help people really see the vision. And I think if you're getting started in this business and you're wondering how can I be successful? How can I get other people on board with what I do? It's painting that vision of what's possible. And really, I think that's what helped me in the beginning, is really helping people understand what was possible to create that leveraged life that they wanted, to get their time back. And I became, I think, more of a vision builder than anything. Yes, I loved our products. I thought they were world class. You know, a lot of them I didn't understand. The science kind of went over my head, but as far as the vision of what network marketing could do for someone's life, just exploded my heart. It got me so excited. And I think, you know, if I can share one thing with people about like a hurdle to get over in the beginning, you guys, is to believe bigger sooner. You might have heard that before, but really borrow someone else's belief, borrow my belief, borrow, you know, any one of these amazing leaders who have spoke. By the way, Mary Lee, that was incredible. I just took down a million notes. Thank you so much, Gary. You know, everybody that spoke on here, Dr. Nancy, and then every one of the leaders in this company, you can borrow their belief to get you to that point. So believe bigger sooner is really what I would say.
Perfect. No, I love it. That's very helpful to understand, you know, kind of how you were able to come across some of those hurdles and jump right over it and keep on moving. But I know along your way, I mean, as I mentioned, your mother of four, you know, your hands are full. And the really cool thing actually that I want to just quickly mention is that when we actually were able to recognize you in Mexico, for those of you that weren't there, we just recognized Julie as an elite pro 8, which was so awesome. And you actually had your oldest there, right? And that was her first time actually seeing you on stage. Is that correct? Oh,
yes, that's right. Yeah.
so amazing. Okay. Well, as you're kind of balancing all of these different things with the family and with the other businesses and everything like that that you're kind of taking on, that's a lot. That's a lot for someone to kind of take on, especially and still think about, okay, now I still have to do this direct selling business as well to kind of get what I want out of life. So what are some of the things that you've been able to do to kind of get that nice balance between all the things that you're juggling at this time?
That's the $1 million question, right? That's the tricky one, you guys. With this is that balance. It's a hard thing. I'm getting better. I really am. I'm really getting better at, you know, balancing my time, my family time. You know, when I started with this, I had 2 girls. Hanavai was 6, Maluhia was 3. And the reason why I got so excited and fired up is because it gave me hope that I would be able to have more time with them. I'd be able to be the one teaching them how to surf with my husband. I'd be able to be at all their special events, you know, and not be a slave to my job, not be a slave to somebody else. So I need, you know, I think what I really want to share, you guys, is there is, like Gary mentioned it earlier, it's that temporary imbalance for that permanent balance. There's going to be sacrifice, you guys. If you're going to want to do this, you can talk to, and you're going to want to do this right. If you're going to want to win at this, you're going to have to let some things go for a little bit so that you can have that. You know, it really depends on how fast you want to build this, where do you want to go with this, and when. And for me, my goal was Pro 7. I wanted to hit Pro 7 as fast as I could so that I could have another baby. I wanted to have more babies before I was 40, or I wanted one more, and then we got an extra bonus of a 4th one, and we're so blessed for that. But that was really my goal. I said, I want to get to 7 as fast as I can. What do I need to do to get there? And I had mentors, and I had people in my life that had what I wanted, right? And so I followed those people, you guys. I didn't listen to the naysayers who were like, oh, don't drink the Kool-Aid, or that never works, or it's one of those pyramid schemes, right? Is, you guys, I knew that these people had what I wanted. I trusted them. I admired them. I looked up to them. And they said, if you do what we did, you'll get what we have. And that is, for me, it was a no-brainer. It was just like, go out there, get the work done, and have a little bit of temporary imbalance. And so it's important that, you know, you guys understand. I remember, I think it was Blue Elam shared this. He said it on stage, or I heard this from somebody, I'm pretty sure it was Blue, and he said, you have to walk away from the dream to get the dream. And that is a hard reality to sometimes understand, but a lot of people won't get that. But if you can know for a temporary amount of time, you step away and go do what you got to get done, you can come back and have it long term. And I am a walking attribute to that, you guys. I worked really hard for a few years so that then I could step away and have more babies. And you know, life happened in my life, and we'll get to that in a second. But I think as far as that question goes, you guys, write a list of your non-negotiables. What are you not willing to give up? You know, maybe it's Sunday, your Sabbath, your church, your family day, you know, and have something that you're not willing to give up, but then also write a list of what you are willing to give up. Maybe TV time, maybe, you know, there's gonna be a few birthdays that you might miss. There's gonna be a few weekends that you're gonna have to travel and go teach yourself and learn how to do this. But just know that it's either now you do this for a short amount of time, or you're going to give up special things in your life for the rest of your life if you work a traditional job. So just keep that in mind.
Boom. Mic drop. I love it. That was perfect. I think that's exactly what people need to hear, with some of the things that they're going up against. And another piece that I'd love to be able to cover is one of the things that we hear a lot of, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the last question of really just digging the well before you're thirsty. Yeah, I've heard that more than ever, being in this industry and everything. And it's exactly true what, a lot of people have been able to do. And I know for you, it's been huge. You've been able to do that. You've been able to dig the well before you were thirsty. And it's been so impactful. And for what you wanted out of life, exactly what you're talking about, getting to Pro 7 as soon as possible and everything like that. So with that being said, how along on your way to the elite ranks, like, can you just share with us on how that has had a positive impact on your life when you've been able to dig the well before you were thirsty?
Well, absolutely. A few of you were, at Cancun. Hopefully everyone on here was at Cancun, and I shared a tiny bit of my story from stage. And, I'll get a little bit into that, but I had a lot of life happen to me last year. And I'll share that in a minute. But I think when I started, and this is what I really want you guys to really think about, is how hungry are you, right? How hungry are you for change? How badly do you want this? And 7 years ago, when I started this journey, I wanted it so bad. I wanted that time so bad with my kids that I was willing to do what it took. I was willing to, again, not listen to the people who told me that I couldn't do this. Actually, the ones that told me I couldn't do this were the ones that fired me up the most, right? I was like, tell me I can't do this and watch me do this. I know that, I knew that I had found the answer in this. I really did. I just knew that I had to keep doing the things that were going to give me what I wanted with this. So I just put my head down and went to work. And my family was more important than anybody else that was going to tell me different, right? So make that priority list for yourself. Like Gary has his why posted in his office. Like write that why down, because your family and your why is so much more important than what anyone else is going to tell you. If they're going to tell you can't do this, you're not going to win, nobody wins at that, blah, 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 and just say, I'm doing this for my family. I'm going to go out there and get that done. Never, ever take advice from somebody that doesn't have what you want. And this happens a lot in this business where, your cousins or your friends or your family or your boss or whoever it is will tell you that you're not going to make this. This isn't going to happen for you. But you have to ask yourself, does that person have what I want? And if the answer is no, then why are you listening to them, you guys? Don't listen to them. You know more about this opportunity. You know more about these revolutionary, life-changing products and what this can do for you more than anyone else out there that's going to tell you different or that you can't do this. So for myself, when my third baby, when Taji was born, I was able to step out of that leverage wheel because I worked hard. I had an incredible team and we built this business together. But I was able to step out and have another baby. A year later, have another one, and really, really start to understand what that leveraged income meant. So that's when I saw the power of leveraged income. Last year, quickly, just to kind of end on this, you guys, is last year, like I shared in Cancun, was a really, really hard year for my family. My husband had to leave us for a while, and which made me a single mom of 4 kids, 2 babies and 2 preteen girls. So you can imagine how fun that was. But because I had done what I needed to do, you guys, because I had dug that well, if you can say, as we say, that I could be there for my kids when they needed me most. 150% I was there for my kids. My 14-year-old just turned 14 last week, had I shared this on stage too. She had an essay about what a hero meant to her. And she wrote her whole essay about me because I was there when she needed me most. And that just really painted the picture for me of why it is that we do this. What is the purpose of what we're doing is because we want to be there for our most treasured people in our life. And so that to me was a huge eye-opener about, why I did this, digging that well and being there when I needed to be there most. My husband came home in November. He's doing amazing. I'm happy to say that. And not even a month later, on December 9th of 2019, my mom suddenly and super unexpectedly passed away. So, and I'm not saying this for, any kind of pity or to make you feel sorry for myself, but what I'm sharing this with you guys is life happens to us all. I mean, look at what's happening around the world right now, right? Everybody is in this crisis mode. And for me personally, that's when my world came crashing down. And that's when I couldn't get out of bed. And that's when I really, really was so blessed and grateful for what I had created with this, because I didn't have to worry about the money. I didn't have to worry about how I was going to feed my kids. I could lay in bed all day if I needed to, and mourn and grieve and do what I needed to do. So I'm just sharing that with you guys, because life is going to happen to you. You don't know when. So if you're hungry right now, you guys go out and build this thing, get it done. Trust me that there's nothing like this out there that you can create leverage for your life. Make this about them, not about you. Connect with people, listen to their pain, especially right now. Be compassionate, hear people where they are, become that hope broker for people, and stop selling, like Marilee said, and start serving. The more people you can serve, the more you will win. And I know we're getting close to time, and I'm sorry for that, but I hope you feel my heart. I hope you hear me, everybody. I love you all. Have compassion, share with everyone that you can, because we do truly have such a gift, you guys. Thank you, Skylar, for having me.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you, Julie. Spot on. Everything that you had to share with us was just so perfect. And can't thank you enough for sharing your time, and especially for jumping up and getting up and ready and jumping on here with us, when it was still dark out. So go ahead and catch up some sleep if you need to now. Thank you again for jumping on with us. Amazing stuff. So that's going to actually go ahead and bring us into our final speaker. So we're really looking forward to this. These are two individuals. So you're not actually hearing from one Pro 9. You're going to hear from two Pro 9s today. So that's like Pro 18. It's huge. We don't even have that rank right now. So we're about to get our minds blown by a rank that we've never even heard from before. So it's going to be really cool, though, because I love these two individuals. I've had the pleasure of knowing them for about 4 years now, where we've literally traveled the world, whether it's from Ireland to Mexico to Hawaii to all over, you name it, we've been there, and it's always with them and their wonderful family. They're two girls who are so beautiful, who, they do beat us up in volleyball from here now and then, but it's okay. We're kind of still getting over that, but we're really excited to have you two on here today. So we will be hearing to kind of give us that call to action and to close this whole thing out from our Elite Pro 9s, Sean and Michelle Poe. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, guys. Thank you. This has absolutely been amazing. Skylar kicking it off, Dr. Nancy blowing it up on Prebio and Probiotic. We had Marilee, Julie, Gary tore it up. So thank you, first of all, for everything that you guys are doing to help support us during this time. And we really want to appreciate all of the people that are out there on the front lines that are considered essential, all the medical professionals out there keeping us safe. And then, another thank you to corporate. I think the gesture of being able to pay everybody early this month was something that was unexpected for me, and I think just an awesome blessing for thousands and thousands of people. So we're doing the right things. We've got the right people, the right vehicles to make it through this.
Well, and I was going to say too, when I heard that was happening, that you were paying us 5 days early, I'm just sitting here going, okay, this is a fact. We've been in for 9 years now, and we are more excited today than what we were when we first got started. And there have been many, many times over the course of the years where I'm like, oh my gosh, these people, our staff, it's always like our people, our family first. Like, they keep wowing me. And you'd think like something would be like, okay, just keep going along, but you guys never cease to amaze me. And the gratitude meter, no joke, is through the roof. And we're just so proud and honored every single day to wake up with this blessing. So I hope everybody feels that, especially those of you that are on here that are new. If there's guests that are watching, we welcome you to the family. This is truly, truly a gift.
Yeah,
so
for
sorry
sure.
to interrupt you.
No worries at all. And here's what I want to do to start off the end of the end here is I really want to challenge every single person on here to do more in the next 12 days than any other 12 days that you've been in the company, whether you've been in 12 months, 12 days, 12 weeks, or 12 years, whatever it is, do more now than you've ever done before to close out this month. because we're truly at a point in time in history where this has never happened before on the scale that it's happening. And the world, when we get back to normal, I contend that it's going to be a good thing, but it's going to be a new normal. And most people have had some sort of impact resultant from this current situation. And for many, it's really been big, significant changes, and we're not out of the woods yet. And I think people that had deep security in the money that they had been making have realized that it can change in an instant. And they're more aware than ever before that our bills keep coming every single month, but a lot of people, the way that they make their income isn't. And that's a blessing, but eyes are being opened and turned to what we have our hand, and people are recognizing that in this environment, we can work from home, that we can continue to bless and change people's lives. And with our world of Tony Robbins and all the personal development that we've done with him, he's told us for years, he's like, winter will come. I don't know when it's going to come, but winter is coming in the economic world. And that's what we're seeing right now. But I also know this, is that at the end of winter, spring comes. And at the end of spring, summer comes. And that's the beauty of going through what we're going through right now, is to be able to prepare ourselves for the upcoming spring and summertime that's going to happen economically. And this isn't the first time this has happened. This isn't the last time that we've had huge, significant impacts. You know, in the 70s, they had the energy crisis. In the early 80s, it was some of the highest interest rates ever. People had interest rates of 15 to 18% on home mortgages. Black Monday occurred in 1987. Early 90s, there was a huge recession. Early 2000s had the dot-com bust and recession in 9/11. 2008, you guys, 2008 rocked our world. Michelle was one of the top income producing account managers and reps in the nation for the mortgage, the wholesale mortgage industry. I was in cash management for Citigroup at the time, and what we considered safe and secure and something we'd be doing for the rest of our lives immediately changed. And Michelle made it through cut after cut after cut in her first company before it went under. But the fact of the matter was, it didn't survive the mortgage crisis, and it went under. And then she went with another company that went under
a year later.
Within a year.
Yep.
And then she had a third one that went under shortly after that was backed by Goldman Sachs. And these are the things that, being 100% commission, she didn't have control over whether the doors remained open or not. And so our lives immediately changed, and we were searching for, how do we get back to where we were? 2007 was great. 2008 looked like it was going to shape up to be great, but then things changed. And so we had our eyes open. We had our ears kind of perked up listening to what was happening. We've always been entrepreneurial. And what I love about what happened with us was, even though we were skeptical to this type of way to do business, we were open-minded enough to see where it fit in with us. And so there are going to be people that you've talked to in the past that weren't at high noon, that weren't interested in hearing anything that we have to say, that all of a sudden these impacts are making them ready to hear the information, but you've got to reach out to them. And so I think back on what happened over the last decade for us. I know that this can dramatically change a lot of people's lives if they're willing to make the changes in their own life. And before I turn it over to Michelle, I want to say two different things, because you can look at everything that's happening around us and you can search out the negative, or you can focus on the positive. And two of the best statements that I've heard during this time, the first one was from somebody that we had as a guest speaker on one of our Zooms. He said, "Be a warrior, not a worrier."
Yes. Warrior.
Think about that. Be a warrior, not a worrier. And I think that holds true more today than ever before. And then having faith over fear. Have the faith that it is going to get out of this time, that things are going to be better, that we're going to get back to some sort of normal, but don't have the fear wrapped around all of that.
No, it's real. You guys, fear and all that gets embedded, right? It's into our cells, and it's just not a healthy, good thing. So here is, we're talking about all these different things that are going on, but I'm telling you, I am grateful to the max. My heart is literally exploding watching this today and watching these incredible speakers. My heart is exploding. My phone has been exploding because of the gratitude of what these trainings. You guys put in the comments, do you think these trainings should continue? Sorry, Skylar, but I think they should be on because they're so darn good. People love the short, good, amazing trainings from everybody and the different personalities. But I'll tell you, when you have a grateful heart, everything changes. The moment, please, that you get into any sort of fear or frustration, or should I go into gratitude immediately? The moment that you wake up, I mean, some of the greatest things that you guys can do every single day, wake up. This morning, I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much for having a roof over my head. Thank you for clean water to shower, to brush my teeth, and to drink the amazing water with. You guys, thank you for my eyes to see these gorgeous souls, for all of you out there to be able to watch this. Thank you so much for technology to be able to connect us, Lord. Thank you for whatever. You guys just put out the most simplistic things that are so darn big, right? In times like this too, it's like, wow, we've got kids, we've got this, we've got so many distractions. There's different coaching programs online. There's, so many different distractions, but take this time and own it. You create your story every single day. Your story is being created. What are you going to do during this time? Are you going to, sit there? Yes, we can take this time and get things organized. Yes, put your kids as priority, 1000%. Put your spouse as priority, your fur babies, all of that. It isn't special. This time, I think, is incredible for all of us to realize and recognize the power of relationships, the power of family and connection, and what we have here at LifeVantage, but also make this time be the moment of, I am going to kick some booty and create a story for myself, for my family, for generations to come. They're going to be like, during this time, we created this, right? So set aside time, have family meetings with your children, with your spouse, and say, we can create it. Can you believe how blessed and that we are to have this ability? Number 1. 2, here's my gratitude every day too. I take our products, I drink our drinks, I use all the true science and all of it. Every single time I give thanks.
A lot of all of it. I give gratitude every single time for that. And when you are grateful, your energy is high. And when you're talking with your people that you want to share this information with, they're going to feel that from you as well. So get out there and be super, super excited and blessed for what we have. And I just keep going on this gratitude thing, but I just keep thinking, the more that we're grateful in creating these stories, the more powerful the energy is going to come to the people that want to be with you. Your energy attracts the people that you want to have in it. Do you want to have high energy people that want to go after this with you? Yes. Go out and make a difference. I'm telling you, you're going to cry on a regular basis because of the lives that have been changed, because you said yes, because you decided. There's one of my favorite sayings is, it's in the moments of decision where your destiny is shaped. So decide today. We are going to create a story, and we're going to take everything from this training, and I'm not going to get into activity mode. I'm not going to be out learning. Yes, there's a good time and place for that. I do it when I'm getting ready, when I'm cooking dinner, when I'm doing laundry. But then on the side, when you say to your family, it's mama time, it's papa time, I got to go get our dreams. I got to get that done. Go and put yourself away and create and put yourself into that action mode. Yeah, for sure. And we're heading into, or we're in the last quarter of the fiscal year, you guys. April, May, and June are going to wrap up quarter 4. And I'm telling you this, with everything that I've seen going on, I believe we're going to end this quarter and this year extremely strong. And we're going to be able to show the world that even during this tough time that's happening around us, that it's a time that we continue to be able to build those dreams. And there are people that are going to bed tonight, I promise you this,
Right.
that are going to bed tonight praying for something to change in their life, because they don't know how they're going to pay a bill on May 1st, or they don't know how they're going to make great grocery payments for the rest of this month, or what they're going to do, going forward. And so we have that opportunity to not only bless people with the health benefits, but with the financial benefits. So,
and sorry, we get paid weekly, you guys. People need to know that that happens. I have mentioned that so many times this week being on calls, and you could just feel, the, oh my gosh, really? Like, that's a big deal. Sorry.
That reminded me of a Elite Academy that we were on a couples panel, and she grabbed the mic out of my hand to continue to talk. It's awesome. I love this girl. And you know, it's just the passion of what you do in life, and whatever you're going to choose to do it with passion. And the first challenge that I threw out to you guys today is going to be make the next 12 days more productive than anything else that you've done in a 12-day period in the company. But the second one, we still have, you know, 1,200 people on this. We're going to have a ton of people watching the replays. Our next major event, you guys, is Global Convention. If you have not signed up for Global Convention yet, do it today. That's going to be the time that we're going to get to come back together as a community in person, hug each other, laugh together, have fun together, learn together, and build this together. But that's the next major events because the regionals have been postponed or canceled. And so I really want that commitment in yourself. There's no reason at all that we don't have over 10,000 people there at that event. This should be the biggest, best event that we ever have, but we need that commitment from you. So if you haven't done it today or by today, do it by the end of today. Get that done. I want these guys to come on next week and say you guys blew up the registration numbers for this.
Yeah, put it into your group threads, put it into your WhatsApp threads, Telegram, whatever threads, and be like, I registered today, I registered today, I registered today, I registered today.
Or I'm already registered.
Yes, or I'm already registered. Yes. Sorry.
But it's got to be all out massive action on these areas. And we've got 4 current promotions that are happening with the company. Skylar talked about wrapping up the influencer. It's got a tracker in the back office that you can look at, see where you're at. And even if you're not in the top 100 right now, make advancements to get higher than you currently are. Road to Convention, it's got a tracker in there as well. Know where you are, know where your team is. If you haven't checked out those trackers, but I don't want to spend a bunch of time on that. Today, I want to really focus on 2, the Prebiotic and Prebio sale that's going on.
Probiotic and Prebiotic.
Dr. Nancy, she showed you beautiful, beautiful tools that are in place in our back office that you can just share the information with other people. And then also the free distributor kit that's out there as well too. But do you want to talk about real quick about keeping and building community during this time?
Yes, but while I've got something right in my head, because you're talking about, you know, the Road to Convention and all these different promotions and trackers that are in the back office. One thing, please, you guys, treat this business like a multi-million, billion-dollar business for yourself. You are the CEO of your business. When you talk about going into the back office, I know this company's got the best products. I'm not kidding you. I tell everybody every single day how grateful I am for these products and getting them in all these years. But we have got to be as strong as we are on the product side, on the business side. We've got to know our numbers. So get into the back office. Who's coming into your business every single day as a customer? Who enrolled that customer? Are you congratulating them on a daily basis? Know the details. Who's coming in as a business builder? Oh my gosh, celebrating, you know, the person that enrolled them. Find out about them. Why are they excited? Tell me about them. Let's get on a Zoom. Let's meet them. Let's get you launched, you know, within the first 48 hours or whatever it is that your team teaches. You know, get in there and know those details, because when you know those details, it's fun and it gets you into action. And if you're ever in a mode of like, I'm telling you, when you go out and serve, and you find out those details and you get to know the people on your team, and you find out about the customers that are coming in, you will be in a much greater state. So knowing all of those details is very, very important. And then you just want to do more. So sorry, that was really just taking ownership and really welcoming everybody. And one thing I'm so grateful for is we are a family right here at LifeVantage. It's so cool. None of these people that are here on the Zoom today training and teaching are in our direct team. That doesn't matter to me. We all help each other, and that's what LifeVantage is. We are one huge family, and when we are together in sync as one, we will grow faster, we will bless more, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm so excited about this PowerPoint, because when we are all doing the same thing, if that's what your team does, we're going to be using it. It's going to really be excited. So sorry, got excited about that. But yes, we say, and I've said for years, what we do is we expose, and then we promote, and then we build community. expose, you know, the ABC, the tools, whatever, you know, the opportunity, promote to the next event. What's the next event? Is it a Zoom? Is it a training? And is it a call? Is it, you know, a happy hour of whatnot? And then we build community. Well, we don't build community super close to everybody like we used to, and having barbecues and potlucks at our homes. But now what we can do is we can get on Zoom and have parties. So there's a lot of things. So our team, for the past, we just had the third one. Yeah. For the past 3 weeks, we've been having a happy hour, a happy Axio, a happy whatever, gathering with our team. And we've done something on what's called Kahoot.it. And it's a trivia game. And what's so cool, and I have to give the credit to Tom Spaniel, he has really put in the mastermind behind putting together the games. It's so much fun. You include like tips, you know, different pictures from different team members, asking funny questions, having different ideas for, you know, we have had, what were the first 2 flavors of Axio? Not everybody knows that. So you get to know, you know, more of the product, more of the business. So get really, really creative with that. And everybody comes together and we cheers and we have a good time. Yesterday, Elite Pro 7, my amazing enroller, Miss Nikki Elsing, was supposed to be married today.
She's my enroller as well.
Yes, sorry. She introduced it to me. Sorry, that's why I said it. She was supposed to be married today. Unfortunately, because of the times right now, they had to postpone it. So we had a surprise in our trivia and surprised her and Mitch. And we had a huge celebration and we did trivia based around them. So that was super fun and beautiful and building community there. I know others, Julie said that they get together. I think it's called, is it Tea Time? She'll correct me and put it in the
Tea Time or Tea Talk.
Yeah, Tea Talk. And they get together and they share different stories. There she is. Yep, thumbs up. We got a thumbs up. So they get together and, you know, share different stories of what's going on. How has this business really impacted them, you know, being able to work at home and all those different stories. So be creative. You guys put in the comments of the different things that you and your team have done to be able to build community. People need to feel that the love and the excitement of what we've got here. And I know so many of us here at LifeVantage say the best thing, even though we've got the unbelievable company, the products that they pay on time for and early and on the NASDAQ, you know, doing the, you know, the deal at the NASDAQ in January, doing the bell. People always say the best part of LifeVantage is the people. So find a way to incorporate your team and guests for them to feel the emotion of the people.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, one of the key things that we definitely want you to leave with is what should you be doing, right? If you're going to make the next 12 days the most productive, efficient 12 days and the most impactful 12 days that you've ever had in LifeVantage, what should you do? And all of our activity always stems back to very basic principles. And there's so much you can learn about this industry, this profession, the company, the products, but there's very simple things that you can do over and over and over again to move your business forward. And that's really what we want to focus on. And so, you know, we learned several years ago from some amazing people in LifeVantage, a simple philosophy of upsell the current, win back the old, and acquire the new. And I always add in with acquiring the new is acquire the new and the no's. Because again, there's going to be a lot of people that have told you no in the past that things have changed dramatically over the last month, the last 2 months, that they might be in a new position that they want to take our products or experience this business or they need it, right? And so when you think about upselling the current, let's talk about these free distributor packs and let's talk about the prebiotic and the probiotic, because those are things that you can incorporate with those that are in place from corporate to help you get through that database and share this information. So what I would do if I was you for upselling the current is, first of all, you've got to go back through your entire database of current PCs and understand who they are. And if you haven't in the past, you really need to thank them, first of all, for supporting you in your small business. That's going to go a long ways when you're recognizing them for supporting you and taking the interest in their health. But know what they're taking and make a recommendation of what else they can take. You know, if you have somebody that's only on NRF2, upgrading them to the Trice Energizer, what a perfect time to do that. Or adding in the probiotic because it's on sale. But give them specific examples of how they can further impact their overall health. And have the conversations to see, how things are going right now.
For them.
What's going on in your world? What's changed? Are you okay? Because there might be conversations that come up through that you realize they are at high noon, and we can utilize the free distributor pack to bring them in as a distributor. And me personally, I would never bring anybody in just on that basic free distributor kit. Add value to them by making them eligible for the compensation plan. That's where they win. But there's a lot of people looking for an extra 100, an extra 1,000. And if it isn't them, ask for referrals.
Yes.
I know this might not be for you right now, but who do you know that is struggling and looking for something? They're going to open up a whole nother database. And then if they start feeding you people, which we've had a lot of people get referrals like that, then go back to the conversation of, I would love to be able to reach out and talk to them and get them signed up and enrolled. You've already given me the referral. Why wouldn't we activate you as a distributor as well? You look like you're...
No, you're
okay.
on a roll, baby.
So that's one aspect of it, but winning back the old. If you've been in this business for a little bit of time, I guarantee you have people that are no longer taking our products. So identifying those people and you know, whether it's just they've taken Protandim or something else, I would go back and start by people that didn't have an auto ship go out last month or a subscription that normally do, and start with those people, reaching out to them and seeing if we can get them back into the product line.
And this is really what I was meaning, as well as knowing your back office. Know and understand what your customers are using and your distributors. What are they ordering on a monthly basis, and really get in touch with them and have a good time with them and make sure that they know about the different promotions.
For sure, absolutely. And then, you know, we're also looking at acquiring the new and the no's, because we're always sharing the information with new people, and then we follow up with people as well, right? We're exposing to new people, following up with people that have already heard it. And nobody's database is blanked. I promise you that. No. The worst thing you can convince yourself of is, I don't have a database anymore, because everybody's database reset once again when COVID-19 started happening, right? Because people's lives have been impacted in some manner. So you can reach back out to them again, even though they've said new, but especially people that you've never talked to, is start sharing the information and dripping on them, so you get them into that flow where you're finding out that filtering process. Are you a yes? Are you a no? Are you a maybe? With the yeses, are you a customer or a distributor? With the maybes, what information do you need to know to be able to be a yes or a no? And that's all that we do. We continue to do that over and over again and drip on people that in the past it wasn't their time to be involved with us.
Yeah, and just, you know, as always, you guys, love on everybody always. It's about them. This business is not about us. Yes, we are creating our stories, but how are we creating our stories? It's by blessing and making a difference in other people's lives. It's purely about them, and understanding and asking questions, nonstop asking questions about them, so that you know how you can bless them. One other little side note, because I always have squirrel moments, is you know, in regards to taking ownership of your business, something that's really helped me over the years, because if you were to see my desk right now, I've got like sticky notes everywhere, and I'm an organized mess, you know, in my head I'm organized. But one thing that's really helped me is getting organized within my notes on my phone. You guys, understand when there are meetings within your team or the company that are going on. Put them in your notes. You know, I send out every week to our team, here's what's going on for the week. Save them in your notes, and then put them in your calendar. Lord knows I live off of alarms, and I need to live off of alarms. I don't know if anybody else does. And I don't know, with the kids not having normal school, it's kind of hard to know what day it is anymore. So then we really need some extra alarms. And there's just a lot going on. So take ownership and put everything that you need to know in your notes for quick references, on, you know, pictures. I have albums in my phone for pictures, for all the different promos, for the things in the marketing playbook. I go in there and I download them. I put them into specific albums. Whenever there's before and afters, I have a specific album for those different things. If you see people's stories on Facebook that you're like, oh my gosh, that's so good, screenshot it, put it into an album. You know, any of that stuff, just get organized so that when you're ready for somebody to say, Ooh, do you have a good video on this? Ooh, do you have anything on that? Do you know when the next call is? You are armed and ready to go at that moment.
Love it. I love it. So as we wrap this up, before I throw it back to her to finally close, here's what I'm going to say is, again, you know, that first thing that we want you to do is have the most productive 12 days than you've ever had in your LifeVantage business over the next 12 days. Get that convention ticket and build your business with action. We're going to reach out to people that are currently in our system, that are current customers. We're going to, you know, get them additional products or maybe sampling something else, winning back the old and acquiring the new. But I want every single person, the last thing that I want you to do is by the end of today is set a goal. And I think a minimum should be to double the amount of enrollments you personally had from last month. And if you were at 0 so far this month, I still promise you in 12 days, you can double what you did last month.
Totally.
And doubling that with your team, finding out who on your team is willing to take that challenge with you. And once you get and double it, then try to triple it. Keep going, keep reaching out for more until we get to the end of this. And if you had 0 last month, try to get 2 new people this month. You know, set the bar at some point today that you're going to strive to hit by the end of the month by utilizing the promos that the company has in place and using simple techniques to get the information and following up with people.
Yeah, simple techniques. That there's something called DMO, which means daily method of operation. Something that's been really, really helpful for many people on our team is just having that DMO, that daily method of operation. So find out from your team what do they recommend, or, you know, what's out there. I know Jenny shared one of her DMOs on her screen last week, and it's actually the same one that we've been using for our team. But check with your team and see what they're doing. It's simple things. You know, you check off and find something that isn't overwhelming, because it's easy for all of us to get overwhelmed with everything that's going on. But I promise you, if you do that DMO, whatever it is that works for you and yours, you will be able, because consistency wins. Right? You want to be consistent every single day. Share, follow up, build your brain, have gratitude, pour on the love, and then enjoy your family. Create memories with your family, because when you're happy there, you're going to be happier, and you're going to be building that story of my family. We did this and we did that, and we created this unbelievable business. And then you're going to have stories of people's lives that have been blessed. So every single day.
I love it. I love it. And this period of time, you guys, I think it honestly fast forwarded the industry and the profession by 10 years, because we're getting more positive exposure than ever before, because people are realizing what it means to work from home, or having the ability to work from home when they don't. And there's so many people that, again, are praying for you to have the courage to share with them what you have your hands on. And it might not be for them, and that's okay. But your responsibility to them is to share the information so they can make the best decision for them. If we're holding back the information, that's on us. No. And that was the worst thing possible that could happen in my mind when we started in 2011, was if we had success and I didn't reach out to the people that I loved and that I wanted to work with, how would I feel? Because I didn't want anybody coming back to me and saying, what happened? What did you do? I wanted them to say, oh my gosh, I chose not to do that, right? Not that they didn't have the opportunity, but that they did have the opportunity, and it was up to them on what they did with it. So get out that chicken list, get out the database, make more contacts than ever before right now. This opportunity, again, I promise we will make it out of this. We will get into that new normal, but what you do today and the seeds that you plant today can change the landscape for the rest of your life.
Holla!
Love it. Oh my gosh, Pose. You guys are so amazing. Thank you so much for your time. For those of you that are listening that want to learn how to get to the top ranks, that want to learn how to have multiple elite businesses, have some of the best retention in LifeVantage, I mean, there you go. Those are some gold nuggets on just how to do it from that leader standpoint. So thank you so much for the call to action, getting everybody moving. We do have a better opportunity now more than ever. So I'm so happy to have you guys on. And then a huge shout out to this whole entire just rock star lineup. Like, I am so amazed. Like, I knew I was going to be blown away, but I did not know that I was going to be this inspired. Like, I got people texting me saying, "Oh yeah, you're fired up." I'm like, "Yeah, how can I not be? I'm listening to all these amazing people." So thank you so much, Nancy Bryan. Thank you so much, Mary Lee. Thank you so much. Sorry, Mary Lee Marisich. Won't leave out the last name. Julie Mai, you did amazing. Gary Stern, absolutely phenomenal. And Sean and Michelle, could not do this without you guys. You guys are so awesome. Thank you for such a great call today. I know I promised to throw out a promo for everybody. So I will actually go ahead and throw it into the comments right now. So from right now all the way through April 25th, if you go on to our store website, you can actually get some of the newest items that we have getting ready for summer. So you got some tanks, you got some of this amazing LifeVantage merchandise that we have, swag, everything like that. So go ahead and take full advantage of that. I'll throw the details in the comments. Go ahead and just go to the store, 10% off through the 25th. With that being said, let's go ahead and conclude this thing. Everybody crush it with Influencer for the rest of the month. Take advantage of the Prebiotic and ProBio promo that we have available. Free start kits for this time period for people to get cheaper registration into their business than ever, where they're able to get that cheaper platinum pack or get that cheaper product. And then on top of that, get registered. We want to see everybody together as one big LifeVantage family at convention. And where better to do it than in Las Vegas? So if you're fired up about these trainings that we've had, you're going to be so much more fired up when we come to convention and everybody's all together and you see our big biohacking family all together. So can't wait to see everybody there. But in the meantime, we'll see you again on these trainings that we're doing. And I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend and a wonderful week. Thank you again to all of our amazing